English 112. Miss Brewer here for your week 10 video lecture. This week is pretty intense because you guys are going to be writing in a different format than you've ever written in, most likely. So this video lecture is super important. I highly suggest you open up Moodle, and I also suggest you get ready to take some notes because we're going to write a literature review this week. And a literature review is different than a research paper or a thesis-based paper, and I need to make sure that you understand exactly what a literature review is and what it does, okay? So pause me, get what you need, and then come back. Okay, so what you are doing this week is writing your literature review. Your literature review PowerPoint teaches you what a literature review is. So this is APA format, and this is a very particular type of writing, okay? So the purpose of a literature review is to review other research, other literature on your particular topic, okay? So you are writing, it's in a paper format, but it is, the only purpose of it is to review the literature, the articles that you've located for your annotated bib. Now you are reviewing the information that they present on your topic, okay? Usually literature reviews are done before bigger projects in APA format. So if you're going to embark on a research project for, you know, graduate and further studies, those types of degrees, generally you would research what's already been done, so the literature that's already out there, and you would write a review of that prior to presenting what your research says. And then that essentially shows that your research is different, okay? So you're not doing the second part. You're just doing the literature review part for this course, okay? What a literature review includes is an abstract. The abstract is an overview of the entire topic, of the entire paper, of the findings, okay? Your introduction introduces what is your topic and why is it relevant. Your discussion is what discusses the actual literature. So the discussion is where you're looking at all of the different articles that you've read, and you're tying them together with things that you found in those articles that are similar on your topic. And then a conclusion is like, that's essentially where almost a thesis would be if you want to go with that kind of terminology. But your conclusion basically comes to some sort of a conclusion from what all of this literature said. So if I'm researching, let's say, for social issues, like I'm researching police brutality or something to that effect, or racial profiling or something like that, then I would look for my articles that provided data on that information, and I would present what those articles said. And then in my conclusion, I would state that, you know, the research indicates that there is an issue, and that a larger percentage of this particular population is being profiled or attacked or something to that effect. So that was almost like my thesis, but it's in the conclusion. And then, of course, APA-style references. So we don't do works cited pages, we do reference page for APA. So then you look at your abstract, and not all literature reviews require an abstract, but we will include an abstract in our literature review. The abstract is a brief summary, so it's about maybe a half a page, okay? It's not even a full page, and it's just kind of an overview of what's going to be in the literature review. And then I give you kind of a tip, and it just tells you that you write your abstract after you've written everything else, because how can you know what's going to be in your paper until you write it? So that's just a tip. Your introduction. So the introduction, you present the focus of the paper. You'll identify the reasoning. You will mention similarities in the research or gaps, okay, things that aren't done in the papers that in the articles you've looked at. For your discussion, that's the main part of your literature review. So this is where you find the information from the actual literature, and you will include quotations from the actual literature. You summarize what the articles say, what are their main points. You use quotations when necessary. You don't use a lot, okay? Usually direct quotations are frowned upon for a literature review because you're summarizing and kind of giving an overview. However, for the purposes of this paper, I do want you guys to include a quote from each source so I can see you know how to do the in-text citations in APA format, okay? And then your conclusion provides some insight. You're making connections and essentially kind of presenting almost a thesis. And what a person would do that was using this for research-based class is they may then present the focus of what their research was going to be. And again, you don't have to do that part. Your references are APA style, alphabetical order. Make sure you follow APA style citations, and you should be getting all of your articles from the database on the LRC, which means your APA style citations are done for you, so you just need to get it correct. Okay. And then there's a little slide that just talks about, well, why wouldn't I just do the annotated bibliography? Like, what's the difference? So the annotated bibliography is separated, okay? You do your citations, and then you do a little paragraph that just talks about what that paper is. So it's very segmented, okay? There's no connection. A literature review, you're connecting things. So you have more topics than you do like just go by the article. You go by like topics. So for me, if I was doing again that same paper on racial profiling or whatever, I would focus on topics like the percentage of people or the incidence of people being pulled over, people of color being pulled over. And then I would look for information from multiple sources under that topic, unlike on your annotated bib where you're just dividing things up by source, okay? It's way more than an annotated bibliography, okay? It's making connections and presenting a sort of an argument, presenting information that you're finding from the literature review, from the literature that you've read, that leads to a conclusion, okay? So you're still present there, where in the annotated bibliography, it's just very much like, here are my sources and here's what they're about, okay? Now you're making connections, and what do these things say? All right, so that's kind of just going through your PowerPoint for this week. There's a course lecture that tells you how to organize it, okay? It tells you the difference between a research paper, a literary review, an annotated bib, and then what is a literature review, okay? So you're analyzing multiple sources on the topic, and you are making connections with those sources to present sort of an argument or present, like, you know, a finding, okay? What else do I want to talk to you about literature reviews? There's so many sources for you to use this week, so make sure you look at everything. Make sure you look at your details, okay? So, for your literature review this week, you are, and it's a hefty writing assignment, okay? I'm like looking through all of this. Okay, so your prompt is essentially you are researching a field of study, or you're researching a topic, and your topic is your social issue, and you are preparing a literature review. So you're going to find 5 to 7 articles, which you've already done for your annotated bib. So now you're just going back into those articles, right? And you are reading for connections, okay? Where do you find things that the articles are talking about similar ideas? And you want to break it up into essentially like maybe 3 or 4 major issues or topics within your social issue, okay? So if I'm looking again at the racial profiling and the criminal justice system, my topics might be targeting or profiling through arrests or being pulled over or anything like that, that might be one topic. Then a second topic might be brutality, okay? And then a third topic would be in the actual criminal justice system, like what's going on in the courts and in the jails. And I would talk about what all of those articles present under those headings, under those topics, okay? So you're looking at 1,250 to 1,500 words, okay? 5 to 7 sources, that's 5 to 7 articles. It's an APA and literature review organization, which you'll get some more information on that. You've already selected your social issue, you're researching, you've already created an annotated bib, so you should have your articles done. And then make sure that you've read everything. And then you're going to, when you get into writing, you're going to have 5 sections that you're going to write. And remember that APA does use headers, so you need to look into that. But abstract, introduction, your abstract should be on its own page, okay? And then your introduction. And then under the discussion, that's one main heading, and then you might have like 3 or 4 subheadings, okay? That would be where I would look at profiling, brutality, the court system, and the jail system. Those are 4 topics, okay? And all of the research that's being presented in my articles should fall under there, okay? That does not mean that every article has to talk about those things, but you want to make sure that all of your articles are mentioned, okay? And then we'll do revisions next week. So that's just kind of your details there. Your rough draft is due, posted in the forum by March 31st. So just like we did last time, okay? Now, be careful because you don't have a full week for editing this week. So you need to hurry up and get busy, okay? So, and remember you're doing an edited paper with comments. And guys, that means like more than like 4 comments, okay? Really give some feedback on these peer edits. And then also your peer review paper, okay? The same way we did it before, you're submitting the edited paper with comments and the peer review form to the forum, and then also for me to grade. So there are some questions and answers about your literature review here. And if that will open, I'll just tell you, it just tells you what's an abstract, talks about the discussion and the conclusion, and then your social issue. And then this is really helpful. The literature review information sheet. Please review that, utilize that, because it tells you everything that happens in a literature review, okay? So even more in depth, and it's in this like kind of quick, really when I print it out it's one paper, but it's on 2 sides with information. And then there's a sample literature review here for you to look at, okay? And it has all of these notes so you can see exactly what you're expected to do, okay? So please pay attention to what's written in red because that tells you how to write. This is teaching you how to write that literature review. So pay attention to that, okay? The other thing that you have is you have a video that talks to you about how to do a literature review. So it is content specific, so don't worry about the content so much, but do pay attention to like the tips that she gives, and it should reinforce things that I've talked about. And then I've provided you with a student example of a literature review, so you can see exactly what it should look like, okay? You have your abstract, you have your introduction, you have a discussion, you have subheadings for your discussion, okay? You have your references, so you can see exactly what you're looking at for this literature review. And the peer edit form is here for you and the forum, okay? Create or answer your journal entry this week after you have submitted your rough draft. Same as last time, it's your responsibility to sign up to edit somebody's paper. Check and make sure that their paper is there before you say you're gonna edit it. Check and make sure that their paper is in Microsoft so that you actually can edit it, all right? And sign up for someone's paper that you can get to and get it edited. Those are due by Wednesday, April 4th, so make sure you get those done. If you have questions on the literature review, make sure that you contact me. You can email me, you can call me, and I can help kind of explain it to you. Please use all the resources this week because it is a different writing style than what you're used to, okay? As usual, academic formal language, so make sure that you're remembering no personal pronouns, no I, no me, no my, no contractions, those types of things. And make sure that it's in the APA format that's required. Contact me with questions. You have a very busy week ahead of you, and I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with for your rough drafts. I will try to give you guys feedback on your rough drafts next week too, okay? All right, cool. Well, enjoy learning a new writing style this week, and we will check in next week.